So exciting.
Hello, hello, everyone. This is Sarah. Thanks for being here. So, today we are kicking off the three-part series of Healthier Habits by Halloween. Today is day one of how we are going to build some inner peace to then discover some outward confidence, right? Today, our kind of main focus is we're going to talk about the power of yet, like what it means to reframe your mind around things that you really desire for your life. And, they're just not here yet, but they will be. So today I have one of my very good friends, Jackie. She's joining us from Canada. And we're just going to kind of chit chat about inner peace and, the importance of it and how to find it, how to build it and really nurture it. So thank you so much for being here, Jackie.
Thank you, Sarah. Always a pleasure to be with you and so excited to be here inside your group and talking about, frankly, something that I value tremendously. And that has really become a part of my daily, I would say, daily practice, daily living.
Absolutely. I I would say personally, it's taken about a year for me to truly discover this level of inner peace that I now feel like I have. Now, I say that, but that doesn't mean that I've arrived in any way, right? It's always kind of this ongoing process, but I feel like I finally have my finger on the pulse of like what I'm looking for, and it takes time to get there. It's not like it's going to happen tomorrow.
Definitely, like, I think I'm still working on it and I think it evolves as we evolve. I'm curious, what does inner peace mean for you? Because I actually think it means something different for everyone. And I think it's up to us to figure out what it is for us, how it feels, and what it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say for myself, inner peace is very much that sensation of being happy with where I'm at and understanding that perfection is not the goal. That when I really feel like I have arrived at a level of inner peace, it means that I'm okay with whatever part of the journey I'm in, even if it's really messy and maybe it doesn't, feel easy. It's that sense of fulfillment that I know that I can trust my own decisions and that I'm on the right path to, you know, the goals that I'm setting for myself. And I do think that it kind of is an ever evolving thing. Like you say, it is different for absolutely everybody. And I agree with that. But I think it also, what it means to me evolves as well, as time goes on and maybe I discover new things about myself.
For sure. I think for me, it's meant really like feeling more energetically balanced, if that makes any sense. But
hmm
I really hear you on like really figuring out the goals and striving for them and understanding that if I don't attain it or something goes offside, that's okay.
Yeah.
That it's a trial and error thing. It's not what we're doing, it's more about the learning process and like telling yourself that it's okay to fail or it's okay not to succeed at this particular thing, and it's just having that sense of balance and like
Yeah.
that sense of peace about like literally making peace with the outcome, knowing that there's something bigger and better or something more amazing, even though
Yeah.
this one direction didn't work out.
Yeah, I definitely think that trusting myself has been such a huge part of my own sort of inner peace journey. Once I got to a point where I could actually feel like I was trusting my own decision making, that was a huge shift for me. And that's in like all things. It doesn't have to be trusting yourself to like make some huge life-changing choice. Sometimes it's just trusting yourself that what you're going to make for dinner tonight is going to completely satisfy you. You're going to absolutely enjoy it. And you're like, and that's the thing, it can be super, super simple, but it's those everyday choices and trusting in your abilities and in your decision making that you're doing, what's right for you to move you forward in life, kind of keep that constant
Do
momentum.
you think that a lot of this becomes in how much of it, I guess, is intuitive and how much of it is sort of more, I guess, cognitive based, like like we really have to, like you're saying in the workbook, right? Like we really do have to consciously reframe our thoughts. Is it a combination, you think, or is it really more of a cognitive thing?
I definitely think it's a combination, maybe not simultaneously a combination, but I think when you first are starting, I know I love that little Milo's here with
Uh,
us.
he's joining the conversation here today. He wants to be the mascot for Inner Peace. Sorry, Sarah.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Sophie is 100% emotionally supports my inner peace.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think at the very beginning of your journey, like let's say, for example, if the idea of meditation totally freaks you out, you're thinking, oh my God, there's no way I could sit in silence for 3 minutes with my own thoughts. And that just like scares the you know what out of you. Then in the beginning, it needs to be a much more cognitive and intentional practice. You have to do sort of these, maybe you're journaling or maybe you're setting a timer and telling yourself, I am not going to waver. I'm going to do this, inner peace practice for the next 3 minutes, even if I don't feel, even if it doesn't feel natural, because there's so many of us that self-reflection, inward reflection is very unnatural for many people when you aren't practiced in it. So I do think that the idea of inner peace in the beginning, it might have to be very intentional and won't feel natural for a lot of people. But as you keep doing it, it becomes a muscle. It becomes something that your brain and your heart are just craving. They crave that sort of silence, that alone time, that peacefulness that you create for yourself. When we remove ourselves from the grind, the rat race, it's pretty spectacular,
I
but it's
agree.
hard to get there.
I agree. I try to do it once a day, and I generally do it at night. I know a lot of people do this in the morning, like either through journaling or their meditation practice in the morning. I don't know. For me personally, it's the way my energy is. I find like it's a great way for me to wind down at night and go into the next day,
Mhm.
having done it the night before. So I have another question for you because you started working out very recently, like you've really gotten back on your what's the like your workout journey. I know that
Mhm.
you weren't doing it consistently for a while, and so did I. What do you think? Like, I feel like moving the body has gone a long way for me in feeling that sense of inner peace as well. Do you feel the same, that when you go without moving your body, you're a little bit like,
Yeah, so
I'm
I
curious.
absolutely agree. What I think exercise does for me, aside from, the very direct effects of what exercise will do for you, mentally, what it does for me though, is it places me in the present. So I have recognized that, and I'll give you an example. The reason I have recognized that in myself is because I will exercise in the middle of the day. I see Milo.
I
He's
know.
good.
I'm so sorry, Sarah. It's
Don't apologize. It's cute. Um,
the wrestling.
I love it. He's like, I'm gonna go play. Um, so yeah, for exercise for me, it's I do it in the middle of the day because for one, the mornings for me are not when I'm operating at my best, and I know that I need time to sort of like get into my body and feel energized. And I have tried for years to be that morning person that can just, journal, work out, do all the things in the morning. That's not me. Enough of morning things is drinking my water, getting in my supplements, and maybe having breakfast. And that's about the most you're going to get out of me until about noon. Um, so for me, I work out in the middle of the day. And sometimes I mentally am telling myself, I'm too busy. I've got way too much going on. I should just put that off and not go exercise because I've got this, and this to do. But I hold myself accountable and I show up to the gym, and within minutes, I'm not thinking about all the things I had to do, all the things that were going to keep me from exercising. Within minutes of moving my body, I am not thinking about those things anymore. It puts me in the present and really just, I don't know, it sort of lets all of the other things fade away, all of those stress producing activities, that are weighing on my mind. Yeah, that's what exercise does for me, and that is a huge win for my inner peace, because then I can go back into the second half of my day after having moved my body with a very, very clear mind and have released a lot of that anxiety that was building up in the first half of the day.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I do say that a lot. If I do, sometimes I'll walk the dog, get him settled in the morning, and then I'll go right after that. By the time I
Mm-hmm.
do all that, it's like 10 o'clock. So I agree with you, not first thing in the morning. When I was in corporate, I did it first thing in the morning because otherwise, Sarah, I just wouldn't have done it.
Right.
But I have those thoughts too, like, oh, I'm so busy today. Like, there's so much going on. But like you, I force myself to just go. And then I have the same experience. Like, once I'm there, I've changed and like I'm in the weight room, I'm like, oh, it's like, I don't know. I'm so happy I went. And it's like, I don't know, something, it's almost Zen.
Yeah.
It's like you're taking this time for yourself. It's like spa. It's like, for me, it's the same feeling as if I went to the spa.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So
And I
yeah,
think too, a lot of the work part that comes with building this like idea, this Zen factor of like inner peace, a lot of that, you have to be really patient with yourself, that there's going to be those moments where you're like, oh, I don't have the time for this, or this is not easy. But it's just like exercise. The more and more you do it, the more and more you become like, it becomes part of you, becomes part of your normal functioning routine, where it's like, okay, my day is not going to feel right if I don't give myself these, 3 to 5 minutes to meditate and just clear my mind, or 20 minutes at the gym. And we really have to, like, especially as women, we have to remove that guilt factor of, I'm busy, I have to do XYZ for all these other people, so I don't have time for myself. I think there's so many women out there that they think they don't have time to do things, but it's really because they're not allowing themselves to just take up a small chunk of time, and honor that for themselves, as opposed to constantly giving to everybody else.
yeah, I feel that, and I can relate to that because I think that I went through a major period in the last few years where I did that, Sarah, and I will never do it again.
Yeah.
I had to like get help getting out of that and back to, you just got to make yourself a priority because it just makes life, that's yeah, it just makes life
Yeah.
that much better. And I think it's such a good point, Sarah, because I think women really do have to understand, you can't do everything in a day, you can't do everything in a week, but the one thing you can do is look after yourself and your own energy first, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to look after anyone else effectively.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's something that like that society really holds as important. We like clap for women, like, oh my God, you're super mom. You do absolutely everything under the sun. You take care of your elderly parents. You're raising your kids. You have a full-time job, and you cook dinner and clean the house. Like, why are we applauding that instead of saying, yay, you took time for yourself today? Like, you have strong mental health because you meditated, or everybody sees that as like it's a selfishness, that if you take time for yourself. And we really have to change the story of, it is not selfish to take care of you, because the more you take care of you, the more likely you are to be able to successfully take care of the other things in your life. If you can't pour from an empty cup.
So true. I feel like this is our mission.
Yeah.
I
Well, and
really
I feel
do.
like when we met each other, okay, those of you in the group, if you're not aware, I am partnered with a wellness company. And that is how Jackie and I really started to get connected, right? And I feel like when we first met each other, you were kind of in that phase where you were craving this, sort of this self-discovery, this inner peace, this time for yourself. And you were really like having a hard time removing the guilt from, like, okay, I need to do this thing for myself, but I also have all these other responsibilities.
Yeah, it was not in a good way. I was not. I was very difficult. When you and I met, it was very difficult. I was really in the deep end of a very difficult um,
Mhm.
situation that has not resolved. For anybody listening, my situation is not resolved because I have very elderly parents and my mother has dementia and I just have a lot going on, and we all do. And I think the important thing is that whatever life has thrown at you, it's really learning how to not let those outside conditions control how you show up in a day. And it's very easy to get sucked into that because everything got dumped on me in a very constrained period of time. And plus with the whole panini thing, um, a lot of, I think we all experienced, like, it was so much transition that just sort of, I think, hit everybody in the face. And there was that. And then I had, declining health with the parents and a lot of stuff going on at home, like, because both Rob and I are entrepreneurs. And so, it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But we all have that version of a lot relative to our lives. And I think one of the things that I've become very passionate about, and I know Sarah is as well, and Sarah and I connect on this in so many ways, is that it really doesn't matter. I know this is hard to hear, but I'm telling you honestly, it does not matter what you have going on in your life. The reality is it's up to us as individuals to be in control of our own emotions and to take care of ourselves first so that we can properly deal with what is going on. Like, I like to say, you have to be the one that owns the energy in the room so that you don't fall into other people's moods, but that other people fall into your mood.
Absolutely.
Instead. Right. And that's what it took me a minute, and I got some help with it from Sarah and from other people. And I even worked with a therapist in the beginning, and I still have sessions on that front because it just helps to unpack a lot of what is going on. But it really is this concept of inner peace is everything. It is everything. And you really have to take the time to define it for yourself and figure out what it feels like for you. And when you find it, you're probably not going to let it go because it's that life changing.
It is. And that's why, like, all of these business trainings I've done and just my own journey that I've been on, you think that the mindset component of something is just sort of like, oh, that's easy. That just is common sense. We don't need to talk about that. But like you say, I mean, it is quite literally the most important aspect of absolutely every decision you're going to make is the mindset of, where you're coming from in that decision, that choice, that energy. Like, where are you coming from? Because that will directly be the result that you will get. So you have to really, really build a strong foundation of the peacefulness, the mindfulness, the intentionality. It's a hard word. But you really have to have a super strong foundation if you're looking for any kind of success in anything. It doesn't have to be business. It doesn't have to be your wellness. It can be that you just want to get through the day. You have to wake up with the intention that you will get through the day. And then, okay, now what are the steps I'm going to take to get through it? Am I going to have a positive mindset? Am I going to be reactionary to something? Or am I going to choose how something will, affect me or not affect me, the things that you experience throughout the day? So yeah, mindset and just the inner peace factor of everything. That's why I wanted to start with this when it comes to the whole healthier habits by Halloween. Like, we've got a month to talk about some really, really good stuff. Like, next week, we're talking about how to eat carbs. Hello. Like, guarantee anybody who's ever been on a diet has always been told carbs are the enemy. Not true. So, like, we're talking about really good stuff throughout the rest of the month, but we've got to address the mindset piece of, this whole process. And so that's why I wanted to start with inner peace. And then, you know what? I'm going to actually do a little screen share real quick because I haven't shared the workbook with you guys just yet. And this is something that I will share in the group so that way you can access the workbook yourself. But I would love to show you what today's action item is. So let's do this. And all right, we got it. We see it. So we're talking obviously healthier habits by Halloween. We've got a 3-day workshop of simple actions to inner peace. So this is something that you guys can download and I will share with you. But today's action item is the power of yet. So I would love for any of you that see this live, whether it's live or replay, make a list of 3 things that you want to accomplish, even if it was something that you've tried and failed at. It does not matter. So make a list of it, reframe the sentence, put the word yet at the bottom. I haven't traveled to Spain yet. Jackie hasn't, you know,
Book my trip to Hawaii
booked her trip
yet.
to Hawaii yet, but she will. So, this simple reframing of the things we tell ourselves that either we can't do, we don't have time for, we're not good enough for, we don't have the money for, reframe it. You haven't done it yet. You will. Because if it is something that you truly desire, you will make it happen. So, like I said, I will be sharing the workbook with you guys inside of the page because that's a simple action item. Write down the things that you want in life and add the word yet to the end and place it somewhere that you can see it. Because when we do these very tactile things, it becomes more real. Saying it in your head is one thing, writing it down is another, reading it every day is another. So, give yourself the best chance to get the things you want out of life.
For sure. Well
Yeah.
said. I like to
So,
put it in a vision board through Pinterest.
oh yeah, absolutely.
I
Pinterest,
love the vision
Canva,
board.
like
Yeah.
there are so many awesome tools out there, which by the way, you guys, if you take a look at the workbook and you're an entrepreneur, seeing this in the page, I made all of that inside of Canva. That app, that design app is just like magical. I'll probably be doing some workshops in November about, how to use it and such, because there are so many ins and outs to it. But if you're an entrepreneur and you have some challenges and some things that you're wanting to share with your audience, feel free to reach out to me and I can help you, get some stuff created. But all right, Jackie, so have you done something for your inner peace today yet? Or is it still on the books?
So honestly, my inner peace starts. I love my morning walk with Milo is like, I can't even explain to you the mood that it puts me in. I love it. It's amazing. He's amazing. Like we go on this 40-minute to an hour walk. I throw the ball with him. He's only 8 months, but he's amazing. I hold treats. He fetches the ball, brings it back to me, gets the treat. His happiness and his just when they sniff and like explore, I don't know, it just puts me in the best mood in the morning. He's my
Same.
walking
Yeah.
buddy. And so my inner peace starts with him. And then when I come back, I have like a whole ritual with my supplements, Sarah. As you know, I should really share that. I don't share it enough, but I usually make a smoothie with the salted caramel. I can see why
Mm,
people are addicted to it.
that's what I had this
Um,
morning.
and then, lately I've been doing my one coffee. I know, Sarah, you don't do the caffeine, you don't do the beverages, but like a coffee or a tea in the morning, I just love it with it's a whole thing for me. And then
Mhm.
I'm not doing it this week because of, some circumstances at home, but I have to give up my workouts this week and just lie low because my husband is a little under the weather. But I'll either go to the gym in the morning or the afternoon. And that sort of, I feel like, factors into my inner peace. And like, I'll take a few minutes before like launching into whatever the day holds. I'll
Mhm.
sit for a couple minutes and just intentionally, we can talk about that tomorrow. Like, really going about your day. Like everybody has this busyness, but
Yeah.
like, what if we were to approach it from a different perspective and be intentional
Mhm.
about it instead of saying, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time. That could
Yeah.
be maybe a topic we touch on tomorrow for the whole mindset. And
Absolutely. Yeah. Tomorrow we have lined up. Basically, we're gonna like talk about cleaning out the closet, getting rid of the junk, the negativity, the stories we tell ourselves. Just kind of clearing it out. And some of that has to do with journaling or maybe meditation. We all have our different ways, like practices of actually clearing out the junk. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to talk about the idea of just really like clean the closet out. Your mind is the closet.
Love it. I love it.
uh, so perfect. Well, I think my inner peace today is going to be, I'll be cooking in the kitchen. That is such a mind clearing, energy kind of, it's a vibe thing for me. I love being in the kitchen. And then I think I'm going to read a little bit of my book later today in the sunshine, because it's gorgeous weather here right now, and soaking up the sun and soaking up some really good literature always makes me feel nice and filled up. So
Me
all right, you
too.
guys, if you're seeing this, please drop in the comments, say hello. Let us know if you caught it live or on replay, and get into the workbook, you guys. It's a 10-page workbook of super simple actions to help you build some inner peace, because we have got healthier habits that we're developing throughout the month of October, and I cannot wait to share with you guys. Thank you so much, Jackie.
Thank you, Sarah. See you tomorrow.
See you
Bye,
tomorrow.
everyone.